Hello everyone and welcome to Aussie Gridiron today. I'm Manjot and Matty. Joining me is Matty Connor. Look, it's a very hot day in the ACT. So we're not actually recording outside today. We're recording in our commentary booth here at Greenway Oval in Tuggeranong. Boy, it's been a long time since we've been in this building.
I mean, this used to be our home ground. For the last few seasons, we've done most of our reporting on the game from right in here. Kind of nice to be back. But what was back was super competitive football today. And we've got two great matchups. We've got Gladiators and Stars in the early game. Looking forward to that one.
Oh, that's going to be a great one, of course, as both teams down to about 17 or 16 players each. Yeah. So it's a war of attrition. It's about 28 degrees outside as well here in Canberra. So there's a lot going on, Matty, that can make a player be fatigued in this one.
We spoke about this too amongst the teams. They were really conscious of what the heat was going to do to them. The Stars have kind of been used to playing with lower numbers, and you think, well, while that doesn't actually make it easier, maybe mentally it's easier just because you know that's usual. Where for the Gladiators, having shorter numbers is not the usual, so for them, we thought this might be actually a game where the Stars might jump scare them a bit. So we'll see what happens.
Yes, indeed. The Stars got a chance here against the Gladiators. Let's see how both teams went. Here are the highlights of our first game of the day.
Samples.
As they get ready to kick off, George Dew with the ball on the tee. We've seen him with a lot of great kicks this year, as well as some great runs at tight end. We have Jermaine Stewart, number 47, and Jackson Reed, number 2, deep to receivers. This one's going to the 47, Stewart. And Stewart with a great take over his head from the 10-yard line. Running down the right side. We saw him do this with a big return in Goulburn, and he starts with a big return here over halfway, Matty, down to the 40.
Before it gets stupidly hot, but still, it's not comfortable.
They're going to go back to throw here on 2nd and 15. Ball's up, and it's picked up. George Dew running down the left sideline. Can he get past Stars? Yes, he can. Touchdown, Stars! Touchdown, Stars! George Dew to the house, Matty.
Unbelievable. And I mean, could this happen to someone who's more exciting to have his ball in the hand for the Stars than George Dew? I mean, once he picked that off, did you have any doubt? Did you have any doubt? Me either. Oh, what a terrific play.
Two receivers at the bottom here for the Gladiators, going back to throw over the middle, and that's intercepted! That one's intercepted as well. Oh my goodness. Back-to-back plays here, and this time it was Highlands, Matty.
Wow, and just in the right spot. I don't know if he was necessarily seen either. You think, well, he's got a bright red helmet. How don't you see him? But the way the play developed, I think Smith thought he could work it in there.
Sure. 1st and 10, as you can hear the wind, shall I say, coming out there. Good gust of wind out there for the players on ground level on this hot day. As Newberry going back to throw. Gonna throw it deep for Curtis. Intercepted by Baker. And they get the ball right back. Wow, they wanted that shot there, Matty. And Liam Baker reads it perfectly.
Well, and he's got such good position, but he's also really tall. And he's a defensive mismatch there because if you give him better position, you've just got no way of recovering that as a receiver. Does a great job remaining calm. Sometimes as a defender too, you're not used to the ball coming to you the way. I want to hear
the Gladiators to start the second quarter with 3rd and goal. They're going to go with Smith. He's rolling. Quick pass, Hall. Touchdown, Luke Hall. Touchdown, Gladiators, Matty. A simple play to get him in the end zone.
Fantastic. And that's exactly what you need on 3rd down. A little roll out to the left. And this is where you were saying, well, gee, is Smith bailing too much on the pocket? That was a designed run. And immediately just finds the nice big white helmet and broad shoulders of Luke Hall. With a decision to make. That cornerback either had to come up and rush Damon Smith or had to stay back and defend Luke Hall. It was kind of, well, both are bad decisions, right? It's a bit of a catch-22.
Matty, 3rd down and 11.
Gladly.
They're going to go back to throw here. Newberry looking, and that's going to be intercepted by Tino. He's trying to get a good return, gets taken down by Hanneman. Here comes 1st down and 10 coming up for the Gladiators. Going to go hand it off. Here goes Reed again. Go on the right side this time. Meets Dew. Breaks the tackle. And he's in. Touchdown, Gladiators. And Jackson Reed through the middle of the defense, Matty.
What a terrific play. Oh, my gosh. As he turned upfield, he put the right foot in the dirt. You can see all that space open up. Puts the palm in the chest of a man to create even more space. And then he knew as he was hitting the line, he was going to get some contact. He's looking a little shaken up after it, but he's got the touchdown. And we've got a Gladiators lead, 12 points to 6.
See what the Stars want to do here. Newberry's going to go back to throw. Throws it over the middle. It's intercepted. And here goes Stozic. And he's going to go in. Oh, he gets that at the line. Touchdown, Gladiators. Touchdown, Gladiators. How much of a better way would it be for Peter Stozic to get in the end zone than that, Matty?
What a piece of play. Plucking that out of the sky like it was a low-flying bird. Turns upfield, gets to the line. It was almost like he hit an invisible force field. I mean, it's just with the contact on the line. He gets a touchdown. But down.
Here it is, the 2-point conversion attempt. Is it going to throw quick? And Humphreys juggles it, gets it in. A good play there from Jake Humphreys, and they're up 20 points to 6. Humphreys and Morrison. They've got Reed at the bottom with Luke Hall at tight end. Evans in the backfield. They're going to go hand it off. Here goes Paris through the middle, and he's
there.
In. Touchdown, Gladiators. And there's Paris Evans, Matty. Oh.
It's been a long time since he's found pay dirt like that. I'm going to ask him after the game, too, just how long it's been, because I reckon we're going to find that there's been many a moon since Evans was last in the end zone. And we saw this earlier. He busted out a nice 8-yard run early in the game. He just kind of looks lighter and leaner and faster than he did last year. Nice, impactful play. And the Gladiators lead this one 26-6.
Here with Tino on the outside this time. We're going to go back to throw. And here is Smith. He's going to try and get past and get it to Reed. Oh, what a ball. And he gets the 2 points. Great day for some of the veterans.
Really has been. And then Panashko's been everywhere as well. Like, he hasn't been in the end zone, but he's done so much.
Is he going to hand it off? Here goes Izzy Gortuzza, one of the young guys. Oh, he just ran over a man, and he's going to go in. Touchdown, Gladiators. There is Izzy Gortuzza. He just sent a man to the center of Earth, Matty.
Incredible play, and he just trucked the man. I mean, I literally ran over another human being on his way in, and he didn't run out of steam. He had just enough to get the lunge on as well. So welcome back to the gridiron after a couple of weeks away. These Gortuzzas, man, they've had a big impact today.
If you're running back for the Gladiators, you got fullback after scoring a touchdown. He's going to float it up one-on-one for Humphreys, and he's got it.
Yes,
he has got it. Great play on the goal line fade. Going to go back to throw. And Newberry floating up for Maskell Knight. Oh, he got it. Touchdown, Stars. And there's Maskell Knight, Matty.
Boom, just like that. We were only just talking about it and how they're going laterally, and now they completely change once they get in striking distance and they go to the tall man. They throw a jump ball to him. Mate, I don't think if I jumped at full extension, I could touch the top of Sandy Maskell Knight's hands above his head. He's a tall man.
Them helping out the new look UC team.
Yeah, 100%.
Here it is as they're going to go for two with Kurt Newberry after his beautiful touchdown throw. He's going to go back, and there's Du wide
That's
open. And Newberry catching some fire, Matty. 3 passes in a row, 2 of them leading to scores. And that's going to be the game.
Yeah, and I think wisely too, we're just starting to see the casualty toll roll up in a game where, you know, there is no way that this result's going to be in jeopardy. So why not just look after the health and well-being of everybody and call it off now? What a game, by the way. We saw 5 touchdowns to 2, a 36-14 scoreline. I think the Stars did a really good job accounting for themselves, and the Gladiators really had to earn it today, playing with the same sort of numbers, around about sort of, you know, between 17 and 20 guys, which is what the Stars have been doing all year. An excellent, excellent show for this sport.
All right, we're back here, Matty. That was an interesting game there between the Gladiators and the Stars. The Gladiators pulling it off 36 points to 14. Yeah. What did you have to think about that game?
Well, mate, we've seen the Stars do this so many times. So they just turn up and they get the first score. And they just, I don't know, they find a way to do this often. This time, it was a 55-yard intercept return from George Du. And, I mean, is this guy the most exciting star to watch with the ball in his hand at the moment? It could be hard to find a guy who's more exciting to watch. And he got them off to a great start.
Yes, he did. But then the Gladiators really found their second gear, went up and scored 36 unanswered points. It was a great showing by a couple there, guys who played both ways. Luke Hall, who caught a touchdown, had a fumble recovery and a forced fumble on the same play as well. And he was everywhere. Jake Humphreys was everywhere, catching a couple of 2-pointers. And doing a lot of great quarterback sacks as well. And Jack Panaccio, he had 4 sacks in this one.
Gosh.
So a lot
He
of
was
great
everywhere.
performers for the Gladiators
He
too.
forced a fumble on the Stars goal line as well. So like Panaccio was everywhere, as you might expect. Real defensive leader of that team. And look, Humphreys, when I spoke to him at halftime too, I was really glad to get to talk to a couple of players at halftime, because at that stage they'd gone from 6-0 down to leading 20-6, and even they kind of said, it sort of feels weird to be up by that much because it feels like such a tussle, and we're really going to need to score again early in the second half to put the foot on the throat, and they did.
Yeah.
But it was just sort of interesting to hear them talk about how they too kind of felt like that game was much closer than the scoreboard said, because we left that game at 36-6 late in the game. We're like, it doesn't feel like a 30-point game. Really feels closer than that. And so for the Stars to then get the late score, Reece Newberry came out of the game hurt, and his brother Kurt Newberry came into the quarterback role, led a touchdown drive, Sandy Maskell Knight with a second week in a row with the receiving touchdown. Last week from 13 yards, this week from 14 yards. Each week he's getting further back. He's scoring a more impressive touchdown each week. But so they leave 20 points on the wrong end of the scoreline. It just didn't kind of feel like that. It felt like the Stars had really put in much more of a fight than that. So it's kind of feel like the scoreboard's really misleading on this one.
Yes, indeed. I feel like it was a lot closer than the scoreboard said as well. As both teams really put it out there with low numbers. It was a good game between both of them. Caught up with some of the players after game. Here is what they had to say.
I'm with touchdown hero. A surprising touchdown hero, Paris Evans. Mate, when was the last time you were in the end zone?
It was late 80s, maybe early 90s probably. With you.
Yeah, I mean, I
I
feel
think
like
you
I
passed
saw
me the
it
ball.
live.
Yeah, you were there. You did all the work. You passed the ball to me just like these guys did.
Played for a team that doesn't exist anymore, probably. But mate, how does that feel? You get in the end zone in a game which was really tough fought, but then you pull away, sort of assert the dominance. How does it all sort of feel to be a positive contributor to a result like that?
It's pretty good. The boys do most of the work, as you know, especially the up front guys. And facing these guys, no matter how many numbers, you take the foot off just a little bit and you're in some trouble. So yeah, getting any points on them isn't easy, and when you do, it's good.
Yeah, mate. Well, the other thing I thought that is worth mentioning too was just from the first touch today, you busted out about 8 yards, and you didn't look like you had any right to bust that 8 yards. You just kind of, you're not the youngest bloke out there, but all of a sudden you're starting to look really strong and quick and fit in a way that, I don't know, it kind of throws back the clock for me, brother.
Look, as you remember, I have 12 yards in me per game, but I try to spread them out over half a yard per half, and then fill up whatever else. But unfortunately, I blew my wad with eight yards at a time, and then had to take a knee a couple of times. So yeah. I still can't catch though. It's pretty good.
I've noticed that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that has not improved over
When I
time.
go out receive, everyone's like, "This guy's a receiver." Can you believe it? Yeah, I know.
You're like the Megatron decoy when they used to send out Calvin Johnson when he was completely injured just to make sure
Absolutely, yeah.
people still had to cover him.
I
'cause
don't
what
think
if he
anyone covered me. They were like, look at this guy. Old bugger's not running anywhere.
isn't? It must feel good. That's the 4th win of the year for the Gladiators, and just trying to get the momentum rolling because you've got the 2 big games to finish the year now against the Centurions, and then you finish with the game against the Wolves.
Yeah.
Surely, the team are looking to pinch one of those guys, right?
It'd be lovely. I mean, at this time of the year, a lot of injuries
Yeah.
take a toll. But, everyone's got injuries. We just need to not be as old as me and you. Let the young boys do their thing and then just take the glory at the end like I just did.
You say this, but you're not injured. Look at you all looking fit and healthy and strong.
Yeah, absolutely. You got Dankerod?
Yeah,
Yeah.
mate.
Ice
I'll
bath.
solve that for you. But rest up, brother. We'll see you
Appreciate
next week.
it. Thank you, Mummy.
Thanks,
Appreciate
brother.
it. Cheers.
All right, we are back here, Matty, with the Wolves and the Centurions. And look, Matty, it's another rematch of this Capital Bowl. It's another great game, potentially, between these two great clubs.
I mean, to me, it feels like the biggest rivalry in our league at the moment, and it has not been short on delivering when these two teams meet. Now, the last 2 times these teams have met, the Wolves came away with the spoils, and in week 1, the Centurions only just got it back after, we see this so often, the Wolves get a lead, the Centurions try and track it down. The last time they played, the Wolves got the lead, the Centurions didn't ever look like tracking it down. It kind of almost felt like that's one the Centurions should take personally, because both teams were pretty much full strength. And when they've been pretty much full strength, we've pretty much said the Centurions are more often the better team. So that was really one for the Centurions to circle. And here we are with this matchup upon us finally. I'm really excited to see how this one goes, because you've got to imagine this will be one of those epic tussles.
Yes, indeed, and you've summed it up well. I'm excited for this one too. Let's just go straight into our game highlights.
It's Gonna go back to throw, rolling right, looking for Simmons. Simmons with the catch, tucks it in, goes in, touchdown Wolves! And there's Sam Simmons with another great touchdown grab.
He has been on fire in this league the last couple of weeks. He had the 3-touchdown game a couple of weeks back against the Stars. He does this again today, just breaks out to the corner, catches the ball, turns upfield, and he just got a good first step against his corner. The ball thrown only where he could get it. Laidlaw does a good job shortening the distance that pass needs to go by rolling out to that side. Just a well-drawn-up play, and that 4 plays. You couldn't stop him.
And here comes Sean Tokley. Andrew Noble with the hold, Opliger to snap. Good snap, good hold, and great operation as usual. 7-0, Matty.
Gotten away with one here, the Wolves.
3rd and short. They're going to go through the middle with Laidlaw. Touchdown, Wolves. And they're back in the end zone, Matty. It's 13-0.
And just that quick. And you've done so much to show this team. You're willing to test the edges. You're willing to turn around, hand it your running back to pound it through the middle. What you haven't shown them is the quarterback sneak, and it happens faster than the rest of those. So it's a really good time to pull that out, and it gets them the rewards from 1 yard out. About Cam Nalder for a few weeks, and it makes a big difference, doesn't it?
It definitely does. They're going to go back to throw. Looking left, under some pressure. McAuliffe, he's got to throw one deep. Oh, Majali's got it. Oh, what a ball that was for McAuliffe. Touchdown, Centurions. And a great play by the magician, McAuliffe.
Looking more like Lamar Jackson there, faking out the end. That's Patrick Lee's coming off the edge. As then he drops it down to run, and then brings it back up to throw it to his running back down the sideline, who his player had just lost him. He just lost him. And it's a beautifully way to pass to get it over the fingertips of the defender. 5 yards on that touchdown reception.
And that might be the spark they need, as Zadrunka's going to kick it straight down the middle. 13-7, Matty. Got Giles at the top of the screen. Go back to throw. Rolling that way is McAuliffe. He loves throwing on this side, and he loves running it too. He's going to go through the middle. He's got a bit of space. James McAuliffe, couple of men to beat. He's got it. Touchdown, Centurions. Touchdown, Centurions. James McAuliffe with more magic today. Unbelievable run of 46 yards to the house.
Yeah. Wow. And that play when it started did not look like that's where it was going, right? It's that play started. You go, well, he's not going to score in the very near far corner of the end zone here. But you've got John Zadrunka with a chance to put him in the lead in the game. It feels like they've got no right to be in, yet here they are.
As they're going to get good snaps. Zadrunka, the kick is up, and it's good, and they're in front. They're in front, 14-13. James McAuliffe, 46 yards to the house, Matty. Yep. Interesting call. As they're going to push, Laidlaw's in. Touchdown, Wolves. Touchdown, Wolves. And once again, Troy Laidlaw puts the team on his back, and he's in there, Matty. Wow, what a play by him. What a drive by him.
Oh, way to finish that. It's a 64-yard scoring drive, and they do it on the back of 2 big plays. There were the burst plays, 20-plus yards on the great run of his own down this sideline, and then the nice pass and catch over on the far side as well.
Here it is. 3rd down coming up, 10 yards to go. The fake. McAuliffe rolling right, looking down the field. End zone shot. Intercepted! Intercepted by the Wolves. Oh my goodness, it was Noble again. Who else, Matty C? Who else would get the interception like Andrew Noble? Oh my goodness, what a play by him.
Is that his 7th, 8th intercept on the season? It could not come at a bigger time. The pass underthrown to Lachlan Clark in that back corner of the end zone. He had all the space, and the ball just didn't have enough zip to get to him. To go as well, just for context.
This is huge. You'd think they need this to stay alive, the Centurions. Handoff. Majali, the push is going to be big. He's not going to get there. He's not going to get there. Fallon was in there. All of the big boys were in there for the Wolves. And they stop him here. And they're going to get the ball at halfway.
Oh, my gosh. They've gone from an intercept in the end zone to not being able to get a yard when they needed a yard on the next drive. It's their first stop behind the line on a Majali run all day.
Wow.
And what a moment to get it. He goes from 101 yards rushing back to 100. So, still not a bad.
That's considering the time remaining. The Centurions, we'll see what they can do. As McAuliffe's going to step up. He's going to go. He's going to take off, and he's going to get out around about the line to gain. And the Wolves win it! And the Wolves win it! They have outlasted the Centurions in a big game there. McAuliffe couldn't get anything but that quick run on the final play. And the Wolves win a tight one, Matty. What a game we had.
Wow, and I mean, they keep the Centurions from scoring in the entire second half. A second half score in this one is the Wolves score 6, the Centurions score nothing. And I don't know, I sort of feel like potentially that's the right result from the football we saw, especially in the first half, where it really didn't feel right that the Wolves were trailing at halftime. But, gee, as that second half developed and we saw the Centurions twice get the ball into red zones and not score, I now sort of feel like, well, maybe that isn't the right result. Oh, my gosh. What a game. What a game.
All right, we're back here, Matty. And that was an epic game between the Centurions and the Wolves. Wow, we had an absolute dogfight on our hands, and the Wolves came out on top, 19 points to 14.
It was an incredible game, and I mean, you could sell tickets for this, yet you could just walk in and watch it for free. It's the craziest thing to me. A game where the Wolves got out to that lead, and then all of a sudden, 2 magic big plays, and the Centurions evaporated the lead and took a lead of their own in a half time, and we left the first half thinking, well, how's this the case? That scoreboard really doesn't reflect what we've been seeing. And then in the second half, I actually kind of feel like the Centurions had the far better of the second half, so then for the Wolves to win it, also kind of felt like, maybe this result's wrong. But the deciding factor here was 2 drives in the second half where the Centurions got into the red zone, they couldn't get points, and in fact, Andrew Noble takes an intercept on a pass that might have been the go-ahead touchdown, and then there was no scoring after that. After they got the lead and they had to defend that lead, the Wolves did defend it, and they hung on.
Yes, indeed. And look, Troy Laidlaw with those 3 touchdowns, very important. Andrew Noble, clutch interception, important. Those big plays are just the difference between winning and losing in this sport.
It is, and does the moment get bigger than you've just had your receiver get past you, and you have to turn and make the intercepting play to try and stop that go-ahead touchdown in a game where you've just gone and got the lead back when you felt like you were robbed of that lead.
Yeah.
That's a huge moment in the game. It's not the whole game, but that moment turns out to be very crucial in the way the final score rolls out. You've just taken that 19-14 lead and you've got to defend it. You do. What a moment for Andrew Noble. We count that to be his 8th intercept on the year. Like, that's an incredible amount of intercepts for one guy in 1 year.
Yes, indeed. And for a game, we saw in our first game today, there was 10 plus turnovers. In a game like that, where there's only 1 turnover, and it to be the biggest play of the game was very important.
Incredible. And I think now we've got the Wolves out at 9-1. 9-1. Their one loss, that crazy opening week game where they lose on the 2-point conversion right at the end of a game when it really looked like they had it in the bag. A forced turnover in their own end. They get the touchdown, they score the 2 to go ahead, and the Centurions go away and win that one. But that's the only blip on their radar. I mean, are this the most credentialed team we're going to see in the Capital Bowl for years? Maybe.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Up there with some of those great Centurions teams, Matty, is... Wow, we just had an amazing game. Let's just hear from some of the players and see what they had to say after this one. Hey guys, I've got Patrick Lees with me. Patrick, how's it going out there? Big win by you boys out there, and great game by you.
Yeah, thank you. No, I appreciate it. No, it's so hot out there, and yeah, no, the team dug deep towards the end there. You know, half time we were down a point, and O really dug deep and got us back in front, and yeah, defense had an easy job, just keep the ball in O's hands and go from there.
So, Pat, tell me where you are from. You're one of the new players here for the Wolves.
Yeah, so I actually, this is my first year back after about 6 years off. I used to play for the Centurions, funnily enough. I played for them for about 5 years, but Canberra boy all my life. But yeah, no, it's good to be back, definitely.
Oh, that's good. And look, today you had a great game. Pressure off the edge a lot in this game as well, and you batted down a couple of passes. Just what do you see when you're just rushing the passes, Charles?
Absolutely nothing. I'm not looking for anything. I've just got eyes for whoever's got the ball, and as soon as it leaves, I just try and come downfield and see if I can get to the rest.
And look, your first season back, you're doing very well out there. I did say you were one of my defensive players of the year in the coverage because you've just been pressuring the quarterback well. Well, looking ahead, got a couple more games in the Capital Bowl as well. Your team's rolling 9-1. just how great has it been with the defense? Tell me more about the guys you play with.
Yeah, so it's awesome. The boys on D have been super accepting. Like, obviously, I came in. I've never played DN before. I played 5 years as a free safety for Centurions, and as the body's getting a little bit older and I'm getting a little bit slower, I thought move to the D line would be a bit of a better choice. And yeah, the boys have really helped me out with technique and my job in general. It's good.
Oh, that's good. Look, sum up the win in one word, shall I say?
Yeah, great. Hard work. That's what it was. It was awesome, but we've loved it.
For sure. Thank you so much for your time, Pat.
Thank you very much.
Hey guys, I've got Wolves quarterback Troy Laidlaw with me. Troy, how did that win feel?
Oh man, that's definitely one of the tougher games we've had all season for sure. Yeah, I honestly thought we were one touchdown down in the last quarter. So I had no idea we were 5 up. And defense, holy moly, I'm so glad the defense really kept us up in that one. But as always, Sense always give us a really, really good challenge. So that was a nice win for us.
So first couple of drives, you and the offense really came out, showed out, and got 2 touchdowns on the board. Tell me about your first touchdown where you threw the ball to Sam Simmons.
Yeah, so I mean that design play, we practiced it a fair bit. It was good to really open up with that on our first drive. I think we made maybe 3 or 4 plays and got the touchdown. You'd know, you're the stat man.
Yes, indeed. It was 4 plays, 54 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah, but that went really well. Sam Simmons has really shone out for us like this season. He's an all-rounder.
Yeah.
So he's Mr. Clutch. I can always rely on him.
Yeah, and I always rely on him in flag football as a quarterback myself. So
yeah.
It's always good to see that. And on the second touchdown, you ran it in yourself. And what do you see when you're running the football? You had a good game rushing.
Yeah. I mean, I try to just keep my eyes open for those opportunities. Honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of running, but if I see an opportunity, I'll go for it. Especially on those sort of QB sneaks. The boys on the line always do such a good job. So happy to make those runs when I can.
Yes, indeed. And you had that third quarterback sneak as well. That was eventually the game winner. And look, across the board, you have amazing receivers, I shall say. There's about 5, 6, 7 guys deep you could go, and they could all be considered your first receiver, you would say.
Yep.
Just how great is it to have a receiving group like that?
Absolutely. I think when you look at the stats and, QBs always sort of get the praise, I guess, it's only because of the weapons around me. I've got such good guys around me on both sides of the ball. But yeah, they're all Mr. Clutch, really. So I've always got that reliance on all of them. So big trust all around.
Yes, and I noticed as well in the first week of the season, this was one thing I pointed out. Noticed you've been working on the deep ball a bit more with some of the guys. I mean, you've got fast guys like Phillips and Mattress and Geordie, and all of these guys are fast. So you've been working on that deep ball a lot.
Yeah.
I saw that improvement as well. So what did you take that down to? Is that something you've been really working on in the off season and throughout the practices during the season?
Yeah. So we've always got our killers on the outside, and Paul Phillips, man, I try to get him the best balls, but he seems to get the most contestable. So we have been working on those ones, and it's nice when those deep ones come off. But it's always something that we've got in our back pocket.
And look, Troy, sum up the win in one word.
Grateful.
Look, Troy, I'll get you out of the sun. Thank you so much for your time.
It's always good to chat to you, mate.
So with the Red Bull, James Henneke, who had a bit of a frustrating afternoon out there, playing both offense and defense, and even a bunch of special teams, mate. Have you ever been on the field that much in one game?
No, absolutely not. I'm used to one side of the ball the whole time, and if I'm on special teams, it's just holding the bloody ball. So,
right.
But nah, it is what it is. Half the time I couldn't see. I got dust and sunscreen in my eyes, as you can see, I'm a bit red. So, but overall, I'm happy with how I played. I could have caught a couple more, but is what it is. We'll come out next in the Capital Bowl and fire.
Well, and you're pointing down to this end zone down on the right side of the screen here. We had one hit you in the hands in the second quarter. And I just kind of wondered if that lived in your mind a little bit, because then, it's a one-score game. And I think people start to question in one-score games, what if I did this one thing?
Yeah, definitely. Credit to Jimmy. He put a perfect ball in. Like, it was spot on where it needed to be. And I just had my hands too far apart and just went straight through.
Yeah.
And I was just like, damn, if that could have been the decider as well. once if you think about it, that's why it stuck with me, and I dropped a couple more down in the other end zone. But if we'd caught that, then we'd been up by 2 touchdowns, and that could have been the game for us. But kudos to Jimmy for giving the good balls and crediting us where it needed to be and leading this team again. And sort of amazing 80-yard, nearly 80 yards.
It's unbelievable,
Touchdown
right?
was great. never seen him run like that. So
No,
super keen to see what he does next.
He's really terrific, isn't he? And it's great to see that he's developing as quarterback, but you never forget that he's actually an open field runner as well, right?
Yeah. Well, because when I first met him, he was a receiver, and then he was like me. He played DB for Australia, and then we're both a quarterback now. So it's good to have 2 quarterbacks, especially because then we can chat to each other at training and tell each other what's to come and what we think of each other's motions or anything like that. It's amazing. Absolutely love it.
So take us inside the huddle then. Once you've run a route and you've learned something that you take back to the huddle, is that an area where you can sort of drop in, okay, so my corner's doing this. Let me influence what the next route for me could be like.
Yeah, of course. We don't do huddle, of course. We run a no huddle system, but there's heaps of time to tell the quarterback. If we're changing formations, you run across, you're like, my corner's doing this, the other corner's doing that, we're over the top for a go. Like it's a lot. There's a lot of communication, and there is time to communicate in there. It's just when we find the time and we're not, as you know, yelling at each other about anything else on the field. But it's great. I absolutely love it, and kudos to Jimmy, as I said, just leading this team to what he does.
Yeah, and so a tough result today because the offense got into the red zone on 2 drives that meant that you didn't leave with points. And no score in the second half. But gee, I sort of felt like you actually really were in control of the second half. So that must be pretty frustrating.
Yeah, definitely. As we came out of the sheds at half time, Matt Lewis, our coach, told us that we need to fire up, and we can't keep dragging ourselves under, because the first half the Wolves were on top of us. Even though we did score twice or a couple of times, they were still on top of us, and we had to come out in the second half with the numbers that we had and produce what we produced. Even though we didn't score, I feel like our second half was better than our first half.
Agreed, yeah.
And kudos to our leaders and our captains for picking us up. Jamal, Jimmy, John, all of them, Joey, the 4 Js, just picking us up and continuously pushing us to go harder and play our best.
Last one though, Jamal with that chase down on Sam Simmons, who otherwise was an open field and maybe a way to score. How does that feel when you see a player do that, just chase down the man in the open field and make a tackle like that? Again, like at that stage, that's a potential game-changing moment. How does that feel for the team? How does that lift everybody?
Honestly, it was really amazing to see him even run that fast. I don't think I've ever seen him run that fast unless he's running it dead straight at me at kickoff on practice. But no, I missed the tackle out there, which caused him to go 20, 30 yards down the field. But Jamal, absolutely amazing effort. I looked up and I saw him make the tackle, and I was like, spirits are up. Yeah. Everyone was jumping. There were a couple blocks in the back, but we don't talk about those. Rest and everyone outside anyway. But no, kudos to him. Amazing work in that chase down, and absolutely lifted the team's spirits for as long as he could there, and continuing to push us and have an amazing game.
Well, mate, look, next step, league-wide bye next week. I'm sure you're probably looking forward to having a moment off.
Absolutely.
And then back for a clash against the Stars. Gladiators. That's right, Gladiators.
So you got Glads, then Stars,
then Stars,
Capital Bowl.
Yeah, well, look, good luck. Get the rest. And hopefully we'll see you fire for those last couple of weeks of the season. A big date back in the Capital Bowl.
Definitely. Thank you so much,
brother.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone, who's been so kind to talk to us today here on Aussie Gridiron today. We always love the interactions, don't we, from the players across our league and across the country too, Matty.
100%. And I mean, this is a sport on the grow. It's an Olympic sport now, the flag version of it. And it's no better time to get the profile of this sport up in this country. So thank you for all those who are contributing. And for anyone who wants to contribute, it just hasn't gotten around to it yet, we urge you, jump on it.
Yes, indeed. If anyone wants to send us a video of 2 to 3 minutes just to describe what happened that week in a game you've watched or you played in or you coached, feel free to send it to us. We did, of course, have a great one from UNSW Raiders offensive coordinator Connor Brewster last week. So we'd love to have more of that here on Aussie Gridiron today. But Matty, we're coming up to a league-wide bye here in the American Football ACT competition. And looking at the standings, the Wolves clearing away 9-1. The Centurions 7-3, and the other couple of clubs just out of the Capital Bowl race, but they're still fighting.
They are, and we saw today the Gladiators get their 4th win of the year. All these wins have come against the Stars, and the Stars yet to open their account, but we thought today might have been the day that they were the closest, and I don't know, to me it kind of felt like they were. We're seeing them improve every week, and the quality of the competition in this league just continues to increase. The bye week comes at a great time. It's starting to get hot out there. Players are starting to wear out a bit, and a lot of clubs are dealing with injury and personnel numbers being a little bit of a strife. So it's coming at a good time. And we're looking forward to being back on the last week in November for what will be the second last week of our round robin portion of the tournament here.
Yes, indeed, Matty, and I won't be there personally, so you'll be taking over Aussie Gridiron today. But before then, on Aussie Gridiron today, we actually have a special episode coming up detailing my travels over in Melbourne at the start of this month at Capture the Flag. You're going to hear from all my commentary clips, all my social media clips will be on there. We're going to have so much fun on that show, showing you Capture the Flag from my point of view. Also, if you're out there, you're watching the show and you're involved in a tournament as well, send in your experiences of the tournament and we'll have that on the show as well. It'll be great to hear from you guys who are involved in an amazing tournament with 26 teams, 28 countries represented. That was awesome. And look, Matty, after that, it's your show to steer for a week. And then we've got another week of regular season and then the Capital Bowl. It's going to be amazing. And in the meantime, of course, we have all the other competitions across Australia, which are going to be ongoing as well.
Yeah, and some of them only just kicked off. So for us in the ACT, we're starting to wind down the season. For American football in Australia, it rolls on. So do we. I'm really looking forward to Capture the Flag stuff for next week. So, mate, what a great note to leave on with a teaser for that coming. And then we'll be back, as usual, for the week after for the resumption of the ACT season.
Yes, indeed, as we've got so much great stuff going on in American football in Australia. And of course, if you want to get involved, leave us a message on Instagram at Pastry Press NFL. Send us anything you've got there, or just reach out and get our numbers as well, and just really get to us and get any sort of contact with me and Matty would be great.
So we want to promote the sport, and if you're involved in it, it's worth promoting.
Yes, indeed. And look, on the Aussie Gridiron Network as well, Matty, we've got some great podcasts. You can hear it on this YouTube channel, Pastry Press NFL.
True.
On YouTube, you can also hear it anywhere you get your podcast on Aussie Gridiron today. On the Aussie Gridiron Network, shall I say. Yes, we do have the Aussie Gridiron Network having this show on it. We also have Manjot Night Football for myself, Aussie NFL Fantasy from you as well, and Good Day Gridiron with the boys Brad, Ian, and Nick. It's going to be great to hear from a lot of these people you've been interviewing as well on Aussie NFL Fantasy.
We've been getting some really great guests. And as we wind up the season 2, we've been doing a little contest with the fantasy stuff. We're actually, Manjot's going to come on the show on the last week of the season, try and save it for the people we've been bringing on. Have been a bit of a team for picking a fantasy team out of players who have started in less than 50% of leagues versus myself and Taylor, who we do it every week. And it has been a fierce competition. Manjot's got to bring it home in the last week of the fantasy season, week 17. So I'm looking forward to having him on. In the meantime, I did have to pay off a water bet that I made to Manjot about my fantasy team. Unable to beat his the other day. So yeah, the fun never stops on the Aussie NFL Fantasy Show. Come and check it out.
Yes, indeed. And of course, check out Good Egg Gridiron with their overreactions and their best bets and their previews every week.
So good. The
2
boys are
shows
amazing.
a week. Yes, 2 shows a week from them, 2 shows a week from you. This show and Manjot Night Football from me as well. We're busy every
Almost a
single
show
day.
every day. Almost a show
Every
a day.
single day. You can find something here on the Aussie Gridiron Network that you love. Tell everyone about our network. Tell everyone about our YouTube channel here, Pastry Press NFL as well. We'd love to bring you guys more great content. But Matty, from me and you, it's been a pleasure, and I can't wait to see you in December.
Can't wait, mate. In the meantime, enjoy the league-wide bye week. Can't wait to see the Capture the Flag stuff. Enjoy your week away. Hooroo from me.
Yes, see you everyone.